Hi there. Today we are going to be making use of the band through our series, and we're going to have an emphasis and focus on recovering from a back injury, particularly of a disc bulge. So some of the things we want to avoid when we are returning from this injury is not rounding in your pelvis and lower back. So we're going to do our best to stay as neutral as possible. Sometimes in these types of injuries, we get a little bit of nerve pain that can happen from like the head all the way down towards the feet. So as we do some of these exercises, if that's getting aggravating for you, then stop doing that version. Let's take a lie down. We're going to make the band go into its shortened position over the edge, and you're going to make your way down to lie onto your side first, and then rolling onto your back position. So the band should be roughly behind your shoulder blades, let's say mid-back area. And then you're just going to bring the band up, and we're going to cross the strands over so that you've got a little sort of crossover at the front of the body. From here, we're going to send our arms straight up towards the ceiling and go for a reach of the knuckles up, and then sinking your shoulders down back onto the mat surface. And again, reaching fingers up and then sinking shoulders down. So it's good to do this movement with an inhale of reaching above and an exhale of returning shoulders to the mat. So with the connection of the band behind you, you're just giving your body a little bit more information, some more feedback of where it feels safe to move from. From here, we're going to take an inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, you're going to open the arms out to the sides, and then inhale, let the arms return back. And exhale apart, and inhale, return. Let's just do one more like that, exhaling out, and then inhale, bringing it back. We're going to keep the arms steady, and what we're going to do is move your left knee out towards the side, rolling just perhaps onto the edge of your foot, and then bringing your leg back to the center. Alternate over to the right leg. So as you move away, you're making sure that you're not rocking your pelvis with you, and you're keeping your footprint on the steady leg nice and steady, and returning back. And then one more time as we open out into the right leg. So now we're going to make a little bit of a combination move. As your left knee rolls open, stretch the right arm away and then bringing it back. So we're going to use our out breath as the arm opens and the leg opens. And then we're going to inhale and bring it back again. And then repeat, exhale, going open, and inhale, bringing it back. One more time to each side as we exhale and inhale. Now, if you feel comfortable to go with the next move, we do double arms, double legs. If not, you just stay with the singles. So we're going to, again, breathe out as knees and arms widen, and inhale, bring them back. And again, exhale, opening, and inhale, closing. We've got two more to go. So keeping long and straight through your arms, feeling steady and stable through the back of your pelvis. From here, we're going to bend the elbows down to touch the ground and then raise the arms back up. And again, elbows go wide and elbows go high. And we'll just do two more of these. And as you get your elbows to the ground on the next one, hold your position here, and we're going to rotate those forearms backward toward the floor line and then forward toward the floor line. Now, it is irrelevant for you to touch your arms backward or forward. All we're doing is getting a little bit of motion into the shoulder joints, which are, opposite to the hip joints, which can sometimes become very stiff and sticky during, these injury times. Last one is we go to the back and towards the front, and then we'll come back up again, and we're going to bring the bands back into their original sides. So we've got two strands holding nice and open in parallel. We're going to send the arms all the way over and then make a circle with the arms out to the side and bringing them back in. Now you'll feel that the band will go into a bit more tension as they go overhead and slightly to the side, and then the band loses tension as you finish your circle. So don't worry about that, just letting the experience happen through the shoulder joint. We've got one more time as the arm travels back and overhead, and then when you get your arms towards your side, we'll reverse your circle direction. So again, getting movement in the other parts of your body besides the area that's feeling, a little bit fragile is really important to making your system come back online again. We've got one more time as we send those arms all the way wide and overhead, and then bringing it all the way back again. From here, you're going to slide the band out. So if you just lifted the rib cage up a little bit, and then you're going to take the band and you're going to place it behind the back of your head. So you've got your base of your skull supported, maybe a little bit of your ears are covered, and then nice and close towards the side of your head. From here, you're going to keep your elbows bent and you're going to nod the chin down towards the throat and let the top of the head start to peel away from the mat surface, and then lowering yourself back down to rest again. And as I mentioned, as we do this, if you're starting to get an aggravation or neural symptoms, then you can just leave this one out without going into the full curl up. Just hold the position as I have with my elbows bent. You will still get some good toning through the back of the arms. So we'll go for one more time like this, just feeling the weight of the head supported by the band, and then returning yourself back down again. So maintaining your head position here, you may need to give yourself a little bit more slack in your band as you stretch your arms up and then bend your elbows down. Now, when you stretch your arms, you don't want to let your head hover. So we want to keep the back of the head pressing onto the floor and then fold. And again, press and fold. I like to still feel like there's a bit of tension at the back of the head. So when I bend my elbows, I don't fully collapse and let the band relax off. I want to keep it in touch. And then last one, as we raise the arms back up again, and then bringing yourself all the way down from there. So from this position, we're going to bring the band and see if you can lace it through the leg. So we're going to take the back of the thigh, holding on, we're going to bring it into a cross position again, and then hold up nice and tight. Elbows are going to be on the mat, and you're going to bring your knee up into the air, and then you're going to lower your foot back towards the ground. So your arms are going to feel like a support structure, so that you've got the legs supported, and it's not all the effort happening in your own body. We've got one more time as we bring that leg toward you, and then taking it away from you. The next time the leg comes up, we're going to hold it here. You're just going to make a little knee circle. So just circling around 3 times in each way, doing your best again to stay as steady as you can through the opposite side, and then changing your direction. Again, the premise is always this has to feel good. So we like to say things like if you're experiencing like a 5 out of 10 pain, it's still okay to move through that. But anything higher than that, we want to stop doing that kind of movement. But sometimes there's a pain threshold that we actually have to get through. So from here, again, holding on nice and tight, I'm going to start to stretch my leg away from me. Now, maybe you keep your knee slightly bent and then bringing it back in. All depends on how much work you've already done and at what stage you're at. So we'll just start the first 2 like that. And then if you're feeling, a little bit easier through your movement, you're going to press that leg all the way straight away. But we're not letting the leg rest on the ground. You still have support from the back of the leg. So this is important just to remind the back of the thigh muscles that they are helping to straighten your leg away from you. And then we've got one more time as we press out and down into the feeling of that strap, and then bringing yourself all the way back again. Lower your leg down, and then we'll slip our strap out of there. So again, hopefully bringing your knee up towards you, easy enough, and then foot back towards the floor. Cross your band over, find a good steady hold, elbows on the floor, and then from there, keeping knuckles facing to the ceiling, float your leg up and lower your foot back down. And again, raise and lower. So this should feel very supportive around the thigh position. 2 more times. And maybe you can concentrate again on your standing leg, the one that's not moving, just feeling the weight of your foot, the pressure at the back of your foot staying constant. From here we hold, and we're just going to make a little leg circle. Now, you may find one side a lot easier to do, a lot steadier. And again, if it's impossible for you today, then don't do it. Just, keep with the leg going up and down. Change direction. So as you make that circle, again, put your emphasis on the left side, in my case right now, that's not moving. And then returning back. So again, we start the first two. We're just going to start to press my leg away, not necessarily straightening it, and then bringing the leg back. If you need more support, gather up more tension, and again, pushing out and bringing it in. And then for the next three, if it feels comfortable for you to go a little straighter with the leg, then do that. And remember, this is not the leg going onto the floor. It's more like you're pushing the leg out and away towards the wall or the window or the door, whatever is in front of your leg. And stretching out, and then bringing it all the way back in again. And then rest that leg down and undo your band. So to get up, we're going to go onto our side position. So whichever side is easiest for you, rolling over and pressing yourself up. So take your time in getting up and find yourself in a kneeling position. So again, we're going to find that band and wrap it around the back of our body, just like we had it when we were on our back. And then just gathering up a bit of tension again. So making sure that you've not curved through your lower back. Yep. So we want to make sure that you're staying in your nice neutral position. I'm having a tough time trying to find the right resistance. All right, so from here, we're going to start with arm work again. A single arm is going to reach out in front of you. The band will go a little bit under the arm, and then bringing that hand back. And then the other side is going to lengthen out and bringing it back under. And changing arm position, but staying at the height the whole time, which means you haven't dropped your head down, you haven't collapsed between your shoulders, you're staying as steady as possible and just getting this action through your arms. So your arms are connected to your pelvis. So we're just getting all of that working again. All right, so staying here, keep your hands where they are. We're going to introduce a leg slide now. So reaching a leg behind you, go all the way and tuck your toes under. So you keep in connection to the floor, and then bend your knee and bring it back underneath you. Other side slides out, toe tucks under, knee straightens, and then knee folds and foot returns in underneath. And again, stretch. And in. Now you'll be surprised at how challenging this can feel to keep everything nice and steady. That band is your support, just to make sure you're not shifting, collapsing, or dropping. And again, one more to each side. Nice and simple maneuver. And then bringing yourself all the way back in again. So with these moves, we don't want to do too many. You don't want to over fatigue yourself. And then we'll release that band away for a moment. I'm going to get you to come back down onto your side. So however you get to be there, you're going to tuck your knees up nice and close towards you at a right angle shape, and then hands behind your head. So we're going to open up into our chest for some book openings. So as you breathe out, you're going to wrap your back around towards the other side, and then close your elbow back towards the starting point. So with this one, again, important that we keep the knees more looking forward. We don't want to slide the hip back with us. So maybe you can put something behind your lower back if that feels like you need some support, even just a cushion behind you, just to give you feedback so that you're not rolling into your lower back area. One more time as we open the chest high, and then closing yourself back down. Now, before we do the other side, we're going to go onto your front and do a little bit of work there, and then we'll repeat to the opposite side. So finding your way onto your belly. So for most of us, when we have that back injury, we'll be fine to do upper back work. So you're going to start with your hands just at the side of your body. Feel your toes aim in, heels aim out, just to relax in that lower half of you. And then lead the front of the head up, just looking perhaps forward just to the front of your mat, or maybe a hand or a foot space in front of you, and then lowering your body back down again. So as we do these movements, extension of our spine is very, very good for this type of injury of your lower back, because it's moving in the opposite direction to where your aggravation is. And again, lifting up and coming down. On the next one, we're going to add on to the movement. So peeling yourself towards the top shape. And then from there, you're going to slide one arm forward and then slide it back. Maintain the height of your body and stretch the other arm away, and then pull it back, and then lower your chest towards the mat. And then we'll repeat that again, coming up. See if you can change your arm that you slide away from first. So we all have our familiar patterns that we like to do. So just making sure that you don't sort of feed that all the time, but challenge yourself. All right, we're going to come up and we're going to hold the position. If it's fine for you, we're going to try with 2 arm slides out and in, and stretch away and in and lower down. So if you couldn't manage the 2 slides, then you would have just done singles per side. From here, it's time to roll this over again. So we fill over to the side, pull your knees up to a right angle shape, double hands behind the back of your head, and then rolling your chest open on your out breath, and then closing yourself in again. So this book opening stretch is really, it's not a fast movement. You don't have to move too quickly. Take your time, take a breath in at the end of your range, and then breathing out, coming back again. So some of the keys of returning back to good health in your spine is going to remember how to breathe deeply again. When we have injury, we shorten our breath, our diaphragm stops moving as well as it should, because we go into that contracted state, which is, again, a natural thing. When we need protection, our body is there to help us. All right, and then we're going to come all the way back in again. From there, we return back up onto your side position, and then hopefully you can manage back onto all fours. And then from there, we'll come up into a high kneeling shape. And I'm going to leave you there to be able to come up safely if you need something to, use to get yourself up into standing. Otherwise, maybe you can start to do it like this. Anyway, I hope that was good. I hope you do this a few times and you start to feel stronger and stronger in your body. See you soon. Bye.